පේන්ට් කරන්න සහාය අවශ්‍යද? පේන්ටි TC ගයිඩ් එකක් නොමිලේම ලබා ගන්න මිස් කෝල් එකක් විතරක්ම දෙන්න.
Presidential Environment Awards 2021-2022 was held in Colombo this morning under the patronage of President Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Presidential Environmental Award Gold winner, Ferguson High School.
Come on, keep it going. Gold winners.
As the economic reforms and the restructuring begin, the restructuring will also involve Sri Lanka becoming a green economy. So that's the start, and there's a lot more work that has to be done. As we become a green economy, we also need the legislation. And there will be a lot of new legislation in the coming year. A new Environmental Act, because our Environment Act was passed in the 80s. There has been far more advances thereafter. A Climate Change Act, Living Entities Act. We'll have to look at the Forest Act and bring a new one, which will also cater for reforestation. In addition to it, Sri Lanka intends to play a role in the global campaign for climate change mitigation. And that is going to be the International Climate Change University, which we propose here, which can be used by officials and NGOs and others for training in climate change and also for postgraduate awards. So this is our scheme of going ahead and giving priority to climate change mitigation, environment and a green economy. What we are faced with, and a lot of the developing countries are faced with, is a question of resources. How do we access them? The debt for nature swaps, are we getting the carbon credits? There are many financial schemes and instruments available. How can we, certainly all of us in all the countries, attempt to get the benefit of these schemes? Sri Lanka certainly will, as a country, we are examining how we can benefit and how we can apply for the schemes. But the question is, Sri Lanka alone cannot change the climate change in the world. The whole world has to do it. And there the question comes up, is there enough funding for all this? How do you find the money, the financial resources for these, especially for climate change mitigation and protecting the environment? Now this is a question we have to ask, because the actual damage was not done by us. The damage was done by the West and the other countries that decided to develop. Now we have to suffer the consequences. So what we say is that funding has to come. In addition to what we have or what we can raise, there has to be a funding available from those who are responsible for it. Where some in the developed world says, no, there's not enough money. To me, that is not an answer at all. If you look at the money that is being spent on the Ukraine war, on one side Russia is spending a large amount of money. On the other side, the West, USA alone has given $100 billion to Ukraine. So look at the amount that goes on armaments and for various other purposes. So there is money, and that money has to be made available. So these are two sides of the coin. Funding for climate change mitigation projects and the access to that funding. And secondly, the debt issues of the developing economies. These are two issues. They are actually joined. And this is what we have to raise and we have to discuss. Sri Lanka certainly will take this position as we go in for the next round of conferences regarding the environment and the climate. And we have no doubt that Sri Lanka will take the lead in ensuring that the developing economies have the resources, certainly, to mitigate climate change in their areas.